Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me today as we dive into an exploration of the solar plexus chakra. As you might imagine, this chakra is located at the solar plexus, nestled in that space right below the rib cage, kind of right below the floating ribs in the center of your being. The color associated with the solar plexus chakra is the color yellow. So I liken this to our inner sun. The solar plexus chakra is all about willpower. It's about that action that we talked about with the sacral chakra. But this is really more about the day-to-day action, the willpower to get up out of bed, to take the day by the horns and make the most out of every moment. So if you're feeling a deficiency in the solar plexus, you may be experiencing feeling unmotivated, feeling uninspired, feeling lethargic, or just not really having that willpower to do whatever it is that you set out to do. You know, we can experience that in a lot of ways. It can be associated with feelings of depression, hopelessness, or a lack of purpose, like we talked about with the root chakra. And you'll find that the energy of these lower three chakras are very similar and interconnected. So when you start to do work in one, you'll see a benefit in the others. Likewise, if you have a deficiency in one, it might start to affect the other chakras as well. So as we dive in and start to work with the solar plexus chakra today, we are going to be doing some core work to really heat up the inner fire. And this is all about digestion and that inner fire to break down and transform food into nutrients and vitalizing our body with that energy. So the essential oil that we are using today to complement the solar plexus is the cheer oil. This is an amazing oil that is a perfect balanced blend of citrus and spice. So we've got some great orange and lemon myrtle here. It's very uplifting and energizing in general. Then it's balanced with cinnamon, clove, star anise, all warming spices that help to bring in the heat, the fire. So this is a wonderful oil to use in complement to working with or balancing the solar plexus chakra. So to begin our practice today, we'll start by just opening up that cheer oil and taking a deep breath. You can really smell the density, the layers of these scents as they're blended together. Then you can tip your bottle and apply one drop into the palm of your hand. And by rubbing your hands together, the layers of the fragrances begin to open up. So you can really start to take in the multi-layers of the fragrances. So it smells different in the hand than it does in the bottle. And as you breathe it in, just visualize that golden yellow sun right below your diaphragm, there in the solar plexus. See it brightening and glowing with the energy of the sun. You can massage the oil onto your chest. You could even apply the oil directly onto your solar plexus. It's great for supporting healthy digestion. The citrus as well as the spices are excellent for promoting a healthy digestive system. So we not only get the aromatherapy, but we get a physical benefit from applying the oils topically as well. And with that, we can begin to move into our physical practice. So to begin our practice, we're going to start with a little cat and cow, just to start warming up the spine. So you can come onto your hands and knees, stacking your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. Now from the beginning, let's go ahead and get a sense of lifting your abdominals up and in, hugging your core around your midline, extending energy out through the crown of your head and all the way out through the base of your pelvis. So we feel a sense of being energized and lifted. Then moving with your breath, we can begin to flow, curling your heart up towards the sky and lifting your hips high. Stretching your belly long. Let's exhale and begin to round your spine. As you curl your belly in, really think about hugging your belly button in towards your spine, squeezing the strength of your core. Then as you inhale and begin to open up the shape, see if you can keep your belly lifted, really toning and tightening through the waist as you open your heart. And then exhale to round your spine, scooping your belly in. Press your spine to the sky, then slowly begin to open. Rolling your heart to the heavens, lift your hips as you squeeze your belly button in. Exhale here to round through your spine. Then we'll slowly begin to return to neutral. Extend energy out through the crown of your head and the base of your pelvis, coming back to that midline. Then we'll begin to walk your hands forward towards the front of your mat. Let your heart melt down towards the earth. So we're keeping your hips high, stacking over your knees as you feel your fingertips reach forward and your heart soften. So we want to tune in to the deep curve in your low back, feeling a hollowing behind the low back and a hollowing in the space behind your heart. So we really open up through the front body. And you can start to tune into a feeling of the abdominals and the internal organs dropping up and in towards your diaphragm. Then gently walk your hands back in, pressing back into your tabletop position. Then curl your toes under and lift your hips, coming into a downward facing dog. You can pedal out your feet 2 or 3 times just to stretch gently into the backs of your legs. Once you allow the legs to open up a little bit, it becomes a bit easier to settle into your down dog. Then as you feel ready, you can begin to settle into a place of stillness, reaching your hips high. See if you can come back to that same feeling of hollowing out behind the heart and into the low back. And here, as you really lift your belly up and in, you feel a gentle hollowing through the abdominals as well. And slowly begin to walk your feet forward, coming all the way to the top of your mat. And we'll go ahead and bend your knees and bring your hips all the way down to the floor. Now really moving into some core work here. You can bring your hands back behind you, press into the mat to lift your spine long. We want to keep the chest lifted as you hug your belly up and in. Then gently rock back on your hips so that your feet float away from the floor. You can bring your shins parallel to the earth, eventually extending your fingertips forward. If you need a little assist, you can bring your hands behind your knees to help you keep your chest lifted. We want to keep that spine long to really engage the strength of the core. Finding your balance wherever you can, possibly extending your knees straight for a full boat pose. Then hug your knees into your chest. You can wrap your arms around your shins and let your belly and your hips relax. Then coming back into our shape, you can start with your feet down. Reach your hands behind your back to press your spine long. Hugging your belly up and in. Gently rock back onto your hips, bringing your shins parallel to the mat. Then we'll extend your arms forward and bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Now we're going to begin to move into a twist here, extending your left leg out in front of you. Twist your left elbow towards your right knee and say hi to baby kittens. Then we'll slowly switch, extending the right leg, bend your left knee, and twist your right elbow across. Then we'll begin to alternate, moving at a slow, steady pace, twisting back and forth. We row the boat, twisting right and left, right and left. We'll do 2 more on each side, challenging you to build into the strength, the stamina of your core and your solar plexus chakra. Hug your knees in, give yourself a little break. Taking it easy, take a deep breath. Then we're going to bring your feet flat to the floor again. Reach your hands behind you, and we have one more exercise here. Press into the earth to lift your heart up. Rock back onto your hips, bringing your shins parallel to the earth. Now, option here to keep your hands down for some added support. We're going to slowly lower, leaning back. Extend your legs to a low boat and lift it up. Reach your body long and lift. Remember to lift through your spine. Then we roll back and press it up and in. We'll do 2 more here, really toning your waist, strengthening your core. Find that willpower, that sense of yes, I can. Yes, I will. Hug your arms around your shins, giving yourself a squeeze. Then you can place your feet flat on the floor again, and now we're going to stretch it out. So bring your hands back behind you again, and this time we'll lift your hips high, coming into reverse tabletop position. You'll feel your shoulders and chest stretch, but lift your hips high to feel your abdominals lengthen. Then you can lean your head back between your shoulders for a full front body opening. Then gently curl your chin back in towards your chest. We move into a little more work. You ready? Lower your hips towards the earth and see if you can pull your hips all the way through your arms. Then rock it forward, coming back into your reverse tabletop. Oh yeah, core strength, solar plexus, willpower. Draw those hips down and back, all the way through your arms, and then all the way back up towards the sky. You got it. 2 more times. Let's draw the hips back, squeeze your belly tight, and then rock it forward, lift through your hips. Last time here, we're going to reach back, squeeze through your belly, then plop, lower your hips all the way down. Sweet relief. From here, we'll move into a seated forward fold, just letting your belly completely relax. Just fold forward over your legs. If your hamstrings are tight here, you can gently bend your knees. You don't have to worry about overstretching your hamstrings, but this is really more of an opportunity to just let yourself fold in and tune into a sense of rest and relaxation as you stretch into your low back. Let your head be heavy, dropping down towards your shins, so you feel a stretch all the way down the length of your spine. Take one more full cycle of breath here, breathing all the way in and all the way out. Then we'll slowly roll up all the way back to your seat. Then go ahead and swing your knees around behind you. You can bend your knees, swinging your legs to the side. We're going to come up to kneeling here, preparing for camel pose. So for me, I like to have my toes tucking underneath me. I feel this brings more stability into my legs, as well as makes it a little easier to reach my heels when I'm moving into the deepest version of this back bend. So I'll talk you through it step by step. With your hips lifted high, you can bring your hands onto your hips. Then glide your thumbs toward those little dimples on either side of your low back, coming into the SI joint there. Then you'll point your elbows back behind you and squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back so you feel the front body open. Hugging your belly up and in, lift through your waist and begin to curl your chest up towards the sky, opening your gaze. So you can stay right here. This is the beginning of camel pose. As you feel ready to move deeper, you can begin to back bend even further, eventually reaching your hands down to the tops of your heels for the full variation of the pose. See if you can really lift your chest up towards the sky. Hug your belly up and in so the core stays toned and tightened even as you stretch back and stretch your belly long. And then slow and steady, you can begin to work your way back up. Then sink your hips back towards your heels. You can let your body fold all the way forward, coming down to rest in your child's pose. As you soften into your child's pose here, breathe deeply, expanding into your back body. Send your breath into that space behind your kidneys and into that space behind your ribs. Feeling the full expansion of the breath, we stretch into your back body. Letting that breath gently massage you. We soften. And feel free to stay and enjoy this child's pose rest for as long as your body needs to reset. Then you can walk your hands in towards your knees as you feel ready. And press yourself all the way up and make your way down into a seat. As you make your way back into a seat, you can close your eyes and just feel that energy that you've cultivated swirling around in your core. And visualize that bright golden sun, your inner fire radiating. And we'll close our practice with a mantra. If you'd like, you can Breathe in your essential oil again. And you may even desire to add another drop into your hand just to really solidify that connection of the smell of the essential oil with the intention of your mantra. As you breathe it in, visualize your golden sun. You can repeat silently or aloud. I have all the energy I need to accomplish everything I set out to do. I have all the energy I need to accomplish all that I've set out to do. I have all the energy I need to accomplish all that I set out to do. Just breathing in that intention, affirming the power, the energy of your solar plexus, tuning into your inner fire, your willpower, your sense of action, and yes. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again as we continue our exploration, our journey through the chakras, making our way to the heart. Namaste.